33 years. Currently, she works as an ESL professor at the University of Suwon, South Korea. Prior to her job in South Korea, she worked as a university instructor in Shanghai, China for almost 5 years. She was promoted as an Associate Director of Studies and Course Coordinator of the English Language Department of Shanghai University of International Business and Economics. Moreover, she used to work as an internal language training specialist at Shanghai Institute of Visual Arts, an affiliate institute of her company, Easy Speak International English. Aside from being an ESL professor, she is also the academic manager of Be Bright's Education, an online training center that caters to local and international students. Despite her busy schedule, she makes sure that she maintains a work-life balance by traveling, watching shows on Netflix, and learning different cultures and languages. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome in our midst this morning Professor Almera Palsario. Good morning, ma'am.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. Thank you so much for that short but sweet introduction. And to everyone who's present here right now, good morning. Annyeong ansayo from South Korea. And since I'm from the city of love, I would like to greet maayong aga sa inyong nga tanan. Kamusta na kamo mga palangga? All right, now I am so over the moon to finally meet all of you. Well, it's actually my first time to give a seminar to participants who are mostly Filipinos, and I was really surprised that you actually have participants from the city, from the land of Smile, Thailand. I used to work in Thailand actually. I did not include in my bio note that I worked in Thailand. I taught in Thailand for 10 years. All right, now let me share with you first um, my PPT. All right, just a moment, guys. So can you see now my PPT?
Yes.
All right, great. Now, so, well, as I mentioned a while ago, it's actually my first time to give this seminar to participants who are mostly Filipinos. That's why when Straps and Person organizations invited me to be one of the speakers, without a blink of an eye, I accepted the invitation right away. So thank you so much for signing up. Thank you for joining the seminar, and thank you for this opportunity. Now, before we start our seminar, I just would like to flex my very beautiful university. Look at this, guys. So 3 days ago, it snowed here in South Korea. So our university turned into something like a winter wonderland. So it looks so magical. And our campus and the whole country actually, they just don't look so magical in winter. It it's unbelievably beautiful all year round. So I am inviting you to come and visit me here while I am still here in South Korea so you can enjoy the beauty of South Korea. And then look at this one. This is our university. This is just a part of our university. So this is me during springtime. And look at this picture here. It's actually summer. So South Korea is beautiful even during summer. Okay, now, I have a request before we start our seminar. I have a request to everybody. It's actually a very simple request. I'm going to ask questions every now and then. So if you don't mind, guys, I just like you to answer the questions. And if you answer the questions, for instance, can you please send your answers to the chat box, okay? All right, so let's get down to our business. Well, I'm pretty sure that you have seen this TikToks and what else, reels that say, I'm Filipino, of course, or I'm Korean, of course. I like it actually because it's funny and it also allows the TikTokers, the reelers, or the person to give opinion about someone or something. So that's why I decided to include this activity. So can you do this activity, guys? Can you please go to the chat box and then complete this statement? I'm Filipino, of course. Can you do that? I can't see the, how do I see the chat box here? All right, everybody, can you please go to the chat box and then, okay, here. All right. Haha. Well, this is funny. Of course, they always ask for a discount. Okay, what else? What about the others? Of course, we can sing. We are Filipinos. Of course, we can sing. Another one. Thank you so much, Stephen and Carmela. What about the others? I'm Filipino. I'm Ilonggo, actually. Of course, I eat bachoy and pancit molo. Okay, so we get two sentences here from Steve. Somebody has just joined the Zoom. All right, so, well, these are really very funny statements. Of course, you know, we Filipinos are some of the funniest people on earth. Excuse me. So a lot of people are still joining the Zoom. Okay. So to the moderator of this seminar, do you mind accepting the
Oh yes,
incoming
madam.
participant?
Don't really mind the participants. We will be the one to accept them. Yeah, no
Okay,
problem
thank
at all.
you.
Mhm.
All right, now, so we are done with this one. Thank you so much, Carmela, and the other one, Steven. Okay, now, so of course you have heard these expressions, expressions which are culturally bound, that you often hear at home, that you often hear at school, that have affected how we interpret and respond to situations. So we have these statements or expressions like, I'm Filipino. I don't ever reason out to my parents. Of course, because if I did, they would say, Aba, sumasagot ka na. And then we also have this. I'm Filipino. I don't want to explain my side. Of course, because if I did, they would say, isang tanong, isang sagot, right? And then we have another one. I'm Filipino. I don't play how much I really know. Of course, because if I talk too much, people would say, ikaw na ang magaling. It's funny, actually, but humiliating at the same time because people saying these to us are actually talking down on us. It's condescending, it's downgrading. And if you repeatedly hear this, you will unconsciously this will unconsciously hinder you from enhancing your communication skills. Because instead of engaging yourself in a conversation that could potentially enhance your communication skills, you would rather keep silent to keep safe. But would you let other people get the best out of you? Of course not. Now, in order for you to be competitive in this changing market called school, in order for you to survive, in order for you to succeed in your chosen field, you need to have good communication skills. In fact, in the 21st century, there are 12 abilities that today's students need to succeed in their careers during the information age. One of which is, of course, communication skills. Now, I have a question. Among the 12 skills here that you can see on the screen, which one do you think has a connection to all the other skills? Can you answer the question, please? All right, well, Critical thinking, maybe. Okay, another one. Thank you so much, Carmela. I think Carmela will get a reward from me from South Korea. She will get a gift from me from South Korea. Thank you so much, Carmela. Well, it's collaboration. Yeah, collaboration is one of the 21st century skills, and it's really very needed, especially when you are doing teamwork. But for me, as an English teacher, I think it's communication, right? Yeah, it's communication. And guys, just a practical tip. Okay. Yeah, you're welcome, Carmela. You're gonna get something from South Korea. You know, I go back home every now and then, and I give gifts to my friends. So I'll be bringing something for Carmela. Yeah, Hazel, it's actually communication. You are right. And guys, just a practical tip: if you are able to develop your communication skills, you will definitely go places and conquer the world. And since I mentioned the 21st century, let us stroll down memory lane. So, do you still remember what happened in 2018 that made all Filipinos around the world jump for joy? What do you think happened? I was still in Shanghai during, yes, Miss Universe. Oh my God, Ronald. I think you're a Miss Universe fanatic. I was actually in Shanghai. It was a Monday. I was teaching, God, I was teaching, but then I couldn't focus on my teaching because I was watching the live stream at the same time. And so right after my class, I ran straight to Starbucks, sat in the corner, and then I was able to watch the announcement of Miss Universe 2018. Of course, Miss Catriona, our own bet, Miss Catriona Gray, won Miss Universe. So, since it's Miss Universe Philippines season, maybe we can have a beauty pageant. No, I'm just kidding. Well, I just want one of you to volunteer to read the answer of Catriona Gray. Anybody who wants to volunteer? Anyone? Ronald, do you want to volunteer? Do you want to read the answer of Catriona Gray? Where is Ronald? All right. Okay. So I'll be Steve Harvey. Okay. So I'm going to read out loud the question asked by Steve Harvey. And then after that, you read out loud the answer of Catriona Gray. Okay. So Ronald, can you please open your mic so you can get ready for the question and answer portion? All right. Okay. So Ronald, Miss Catriona, this is your question. What is the most important lesson you've learned in your life, and how would you apply it to your time as Miss Universe? Miss Catriona, Miss Philippines, you have 30 seconds. 30 seconds, your time starts now.
I work a lot in the slums of Tondo, Manila, and the life there is very poor and it's very sad. And I've always thought to myself to look for the beauty in it, to look in the beauty of the faces of the children, and to be grateful. And I would bring this aspect as Miss Universe to see situation for the silver lining, and to assess where I could give something, where I could provide something as their spokesperson. If I could teach people to be grateful, we could have an amazing world where negativity could not grow and foster, and children would have a smile in their faces. Thank you.
All right, that is amazing, Ronald. How did you even do that? You sounded like Miss Catriona Gay. So everybody, can you please give a big thumbs up to Ronald, our Miss Catriona Gray for today? Okay, great job. Now, of course, we can all agree that Catriona aced the Q&A portion. Now, why? This is another question, guys. Why do you think that her answer was miles better than the answers of Miss South Africa and Miss Venezuela? Do you have any ideas? I'm so sorry. I didn't make any corrections here because I just pulled this up from Google. I didn't bother to correct anymore. There are a lot of punctuation. There are a lot of errors here in punctuations, but I didn't correct anymore. Anyway, so let's go back to my question. So why do you think that Catriona's answer was miles better, was so much better than the answer of Miss South Africa and Miss Catriona and Miss Venezuela? So her answer was based on her experience. That is correct. Yes, Ronald, you have a point. Another one. Okay, from AJ Ligarda, it was more relevant at the time. Not to mention she was the crowd favorite. Okay, yeah. But let us focus on the answer, not her being the crowd favorite. Let's just focus on her answer during the final Q&A portion. Any other answer? Because of the real situation. All right, good. Thank you so much, Mark. And then we also have another answer from Carmela. Carmela, you are very active. The speech is descriptive, based on observation and experience. Yeah, it was really based on her experience, especially her experience as a volunteer in the slums of Tondo. Now, so biases aside, guys, Catriona Gray really did a great job. So Catriona has set the bar high, not just in terms of empowering Filipino women, but in terms of the qualities of women that should represent our country in this field. And because of her, beauty pageant contestants now have realized that it's not just beauty that could propel them to success, but they should equip themselves as well with communication skills or with transferable skills such as communication skills. And because of her, new terms such as kabugera, nangangain ng mic were introduced and are used now in our daily conversation. So her answer, let's go back to her answer. So what is really so special with her answer? And you know why? She was able to really expand her answer, right? And that is our topic for today. You're going to learn some strategies that will help you and your future students expand your answers. Now, the next question is, when is expanding your answer, is it really necessary for you to make it lengthy? Is it really necessary for you to make your answer long? Yes or no? So we have another answer here from AJ. She wanted to reach out to the depressed communities and teach them to look beyond their poverty. Yeah, she included that in her answer. All right, now, so let's proceed now to the next question so that you can see the question on the screen. So when you say expanding answers, does it mean that responses need to be long? Does it mean that responses need to be lengthy? Yes or no? No? All right, so most of you answered no. Stephen, Rosita, and Mark Tracy, you answered no. Well, I would probably say yes. That's why it's called expanding your answer, because you have to make it lengthy, you have to make it long, but not kilometric. All right. However, guys, in expanding your answer, the length of your answer is not just a sole indicator that you have successfully done your task of expanding your answers. There are many things that need to be considered and included in your answer. And what are these? So these are our objectives for today. And let me all right. Well, yeah, that is actually the purpose why you have to extend your answer because you have to make it a little bit lengthy, but not really, really very long. Okay. Now, so these are our objectives. By the end of this session, you will be able to learn how to extend your answers with appropriate details and examples by number one, identifying the key information and details needed to answer a question. So you might ask, why? Why do you have to do that? It's so simple to identify key information and details, but I will tell you the importance of this activity. Next one, number two, using linking words and phrases to connect ideas and sentences. The same thing, guys. Linking words and phrases are important as well. Number three, using different strategies and techniques to extend one's answers. There are actually a lot of strategies and techniques that you can use to extend your answers, but for today's session, we'll just have 5 strategies. And the last one, if we still have enough time, then we will have number 4, applying the skills in different contexts and situations, such as class discussion. But if you cannot have this, then you can probably use this activity in your breakout session later. Next one. Okay, so, practical communication skills are very essential for success in many areas, such as education, of course. Practical communication is very important. Next one, you can use practical communication as well in your job, at work, and even in your personal relationships. When you extend your answers, you have to provide details. You have to provide well-supported answers. And in providing details and well-supported answers, providing details and well-supported answers is a crucial aspect of communication and helps us convey our thoughts, our ideas, and opinions in a clear and convincing manner. Now, I have another question. When is extending answers necessary or even required? There are a lot of interaction patterns and communication activities in which expanding answer is necessary and in some cases even required. Okay, some of these activities are the following. So we have job interview. Of course, expanding your answer is very important in job interviews. If you just simply yes or no and give very short answers, do you think the employer will hire you? Definitely not. Next one, writing an essay. I also teach essay writing. I've been teaching essay writing for quite some time. And one of the requirements in writing an essay is, of course, giving supporting ideas and details. Next one, presentation, especially when you present a product, it is very important that you give a lot of substantial details and information. And international English tests like IELTS and TOEFL, I also teach IELTS. It's actually a requirement for you, for the examinee, to expand the answers. And even in class discussions and when you interact with your professor, with your classmates, it's much better if you give substantial answers or information. Now, since I mentioned IELTS, let me talk about IELTS. Yeah, just what I told you. I also teach IELTS and I've had many students who have taken IELTS exam. And you know what? One of the misconceptions of students regarding IELTS is that it's easy. It's because it's just a test in English. But those who have taken the exam can attest that, surprisingly, it's not easy to get their target band or score because they're actually wondering why they cannot get their target band and score because, to be honest, questions in the IELTS exam, especially in speaking, are too elementary, too simple Like, for instance, tell me about your hometown. What else? What is your favorite movie? Talk about your travel plan. These are very simple questions in English that even grade school learners can what? Can answer these questions without any gaps in their responses. But why can they not get their target bands? Why is it that IELTS test takers cannot even get their target score? You know why? Because these IELTS test takers have disregarded the fact that fluency is not just one of the things that examiners are focusing on. You know, IELTS examiners are also looking for some other items aside from fluency. And what are these items? I'm going to show them to you. Let us have the agenda. Well, I already told you about the objectives. Now, just to make you follow the flow of our session, let me read again the agenda for today. So first, identifying key information and details. Okay. Next one, using linking words and phrases, using strategies to extend one's answers. And then for the last one, maybe you can have this in your breakout room, a session. So let us have identifying key information and details. All right. So you might ask, for identifying key information and details. This might be a very simple strategy, but this is very helpful to build up the skills of the students and also maximize the participation of your learners. This is what I use, and also my colleagues, we use this in teaching, speaking, and also we use this when we teach reading and listening. But why? You might ask the question, why? Why teach the students to identify key terms, or why have this activity? Like identifying key terms and phrases, it's too simple. Guys, you have to remember that not all our students are on the same page. Some of our students, some students in your class may have an advanced level in English. And sadly, there are students who may always hesitate to engage themselves in big class activities. So when you ask questions, for example, to students like this one, what are some advantages and disadvantages of using social media? It's a question that needs opinion, right? Students have to give their opinion. And when you ask questions like this, all the students who are confident in using the English language would respond right away. But what about those students who always are too hesitant to even speak in the class? Would you just let them be left behind? Of course not. So as future teachers, you have to learn how to design activities that could maximize the participation of the students, of all your students. And these activities that you can see on the screen, they may be very simple, but they can slowly build not just the skills of your students, but their confidence as well. So what will you do? Okay. Well, of course, you often have group activities. Now, so first you ask this question to your students. What are some advantages and disadvantages of using social media? And then they can work as a group, okay? You let them find key terms and phrases. And for this question, the key terms and phrases are advantages, disadvantages, and social media. It's just very easy to identify the key terms in this question because the question is too simple. But what if the question is a little bit complicated? Now, so after finding the key terms and phrases, you can ask the students to brainstorm. The same thing, guys, brainstorming is a very simple activity, but this is one of my most favorite activities because it is during brainstorming that students are able to contribute ideas. So we can make a list of advantages and disadvantages of using social media. Next one, after they have brainstormed their ideas, they can start organizing their ideas. So how do they organize? They can use ideas which are needed for the discussion and then get rid or delete ideas that are not really very necessary in the discussion or in answering the question. And then after organizing the ideas into categories, they can now start providing examples or evidence to support their answers. And then after doing all these things, then that is the time for you to ask questions, to ask volunteer to answer the question. All right. And while the students are having a group activity, what should you, the teacher, what should you do as a teacher? Me, what I usually do is I monitor, I go around, I go to one group, from one group to another. And while I'm doing that, I would sometimes assign one student to be in charge of answering the question. So like I tell the students, for example, Anna, after doing this activity, I will ask you to answer the question. I will ask you to say the question, to share the question with the whole class. So your group mates have to help you answer the question. So it's a beautiful thing because when the student, for example, shares the answer with the whole class, you know that it's not just her ideas. The ideas actually come from the whole group. Okay. Next one. So we are done with key information and details. Let's go to, this one. So what is the person doing? Just a moment, guys. This student is actually having an extemporaneous speaking. So when a person is like giving an extemporaneous speech, usually we Filipinos, we focus more on the content, right? On the grammatical structure, on how the person or the speaker gives or pronounces the words. But in international exams like IELTS, like TOEFL, examiners, they listen for some other things aside from the content, aside from the grammatical structure, aside from the way a person, aside from the pronunciation. What do you think are these things or items that international examiners are looking for? Any idea? Carmel? Carmel? Sorry, Carmel, I have to. Mm-hmm. So yeah, so in the Philippines comprehension, okay, yeah, that is also one of the things that of course are being scored for how you comprehend the question. So we also have an answer here from Mark, be able to deliver and understand your own thoughts to your audience. Okay, all right. So I'm actually referring to the criteria. So in a speaking exam, usually examinees are scored on 4 or 5 areas. Be able to deliver and understand your own thoughts to your audience. Simple and direct. Well, very good points, guys. Now, in an international speaking exam, one of the things aside from fluency, aside from grammar, aside from grammatical structure and pronunciation, international examiners are also looking for, what is it? Linking words and phrases. Are you surprised that these are also very important? Linking words and phrases. Now, what are linking words and phrases? Well, we can use some other words or terms to replace linking words and phrases. They are also called cohesive devices. And we can also say signposts, connectors, discourse markers. Now, so you can, linking words and phrases, they're very important because you can extend your answers by connecting ideas and contrasting ideas. So if you want, for example, to connect ideas, of course, we commonly use linking words and phrases such as all and linking words and phrases. Very good, Rosita, to hear it. Next one, if you want to contrast details, then you can use linking words and phrases. Even though, wow, some examples of linking words and phrases. Now, we have this question. We have a sample question. Should all students pay for their university education? And this is a sample answer. In my opinion, blah, blah, blah. Now, can you please read quickly the answer? And then identify the linking words used in this answer. This is not a very lengthy answer, although all the parts of an answer, the required answer, are found in this paragraph. So can you identify the linking words used in that answer? We have an answer now. Oh, okay. Meaning. All right. Very good, Ronald. Miss Catriona Gray, you are a smart student. Okay, so you got it right, Ronald. We have however. Okay, so we have here the word however and whereas. Now, that's correct. Yes, however and whereas. Now, guys, I think also, in my opinion, is a signpost, right? Now, so why are linking words and phrases important? So when you take international exams, maybe you want to go to the US to someday to teach, you want to move to Australia to work there. One of the requirements is the IELTS exam and the TOEFL exam. And you might be wondering why, when you answer questions, examiners, international examiners would also look for the linking words and phrases in your answer. Why? So why are they important? That is correct. Very good, Rosita. Now, so linking words and phrases, guys, they are like road signs, right? And when you see road signs actually give you directions, right? So when you use, for example, linking words and phrases such as whereas and however, you are giving the listener and the speaker a hint about what you're going to talk about, okay? That's why when you take the IELTS exam, when you take the TOEFL exam, examiners are always looking for linking words and phrases, because linking words and phrases, they make your answer, they make your speech organized, they make your speech coherent, just like what Rosalia said. And when your speech is organized and coherent, it's very, very easy to follow. Readers and listeners will find it hard to understand easily your speech or your answer. That is the importance of linking words and phrases. Next one. Okay, now, so here, when you take an IELTS exam, okay, one of the criteria is coherence, right here. I'm sorry, the fonts are very small. Okay, I'm sorry, I forgot to wear my Sunglasses. Okay. I'm still in denial that my vision is 2020, but actually I am already having a hard time reading small fonts like this. So one of the criteria in a writing test is coherence, okay? So for instance, if your target band is 7, okay, these are the bands. Now, if you want to go to the US, if you want to work abroad, usually the target band is 7. Now, so if your target band is 7, look at this, guys. One of the criteria, one of the icons is gives or uses a range of cohesive devices. And what are cohesive devices? These are linking words and phrases. All right. Next one. Not only in writing, but in speaking as well. Now, one of the criteria for speaking exams is not just fluency, but fluency and coherence. And the same thing, if your target band is 7, okay, look at this. One of the items is uses a range of connectives and discourse markers. And what are these connectives and discourse markers? These are the linking words and phrases. So that's why, guys, do not underestimate the importance of these small words because they are important in speaking and writing exams. Okay. Oh, okay. Now, later I'm going to tell you also about grammatical range and accuracy. One of the criteria also of speaking and writing exams are, we have here grammatical range, not just accuracy, guys. Okay, most often we Filipinos, we are really very particular about grammatical accuracy, but in grammar, you also have to focus on the range of grammatical structures. So here, okay, it says here uses a wide range of structures flexibly. What is a wide range of grammatical structures? I will tell you. I will tell you in a bit. That's one. Okay, now let me tell you about the experience of one of my IELTS students. So look at this picture. It looks so funny, right? This, she's actually, sorry, he's my IELTS student, one of my IELTS students. And this picture may look funny, but it's actually a realization of his dream. So let me tell you something about him. Let's just call him Jay. So before he became my IELTS student, he had already taken the exam, the IELTS exam. You know how many times? 6 times, guys. 6 times, believe it or not. And an IELTS exam is so expensive. I think now it's 15,000 for one. Yeah, I think it's already 16,000. And before he became a student, he already had taken the IELTS exam 6 times. And his English wasn't bad at all. That's why he was wondering why he couldn't get his target band or score. So he was hired by a hospital in the US. I think it was in Maryland. And to be given a work permit or something, he had to take the IELTS exam and get a band of at least 7 in speaking and 6 in writing. So when he started our training, I was able to find out what the missing items were in his essay and answers in the IELTS questions. Do you know what these missing items were in his essay and answered? That's right, guys. In his essay and his answers in the IELTS speaking questions, he didn't use a range of linking words and phrases. So, linking words and phrases, these words may look trifling and trivial. These words may look trifling and trivial for those who are unaware of the importance of linking words and phrases. But when you use them appropriately, they will really give a great deal of success. So just imagine this cute little words called linking words and phrases. can actually change one's life for the better. And look at my student, because he did very well in the IELTS exam because he used linking words and phrases in his IELTS exam. So now he is in Maryland enjoying his life as a nurse. And when he sent this message to me, of course, I felt like crying. I was so emotional that he was able to pass already the IELTS exam after his 7th attempt. Next one. Now let's move on to the strategies to expand your answers. Well, I told you a while ago that I'm going to show you 5 strategies in expanding your answers. And what are these 5 strategies? We have here paraphrasing, summarization, expressing opinion, giving examples, and illustration. Now, so let us have paraphrasing. What is paraphrasing? Paraphrasing is just simply restating an answer in different words while conveying the same meanings. Now, there are 3 very commonly used ways in paraphrasing. The first one is using synonyms. The second one is changing the word form. And the third one is changing the sentence structure. Of course, you know what synonyms are. So we have examples like guapa, maanyag, right? In your language, what is guapa? In Ilonggo, we say guapa. What else? Beautiful, pretty, rich, wealthy. These are synonyms. Now, when you paraphrase, you don't have to use synonyms all the time. You can just change the word form. So what is changing the word form? So instead of saying, for example, beautiful, you can say beauty. Instead of saying education, you can just simply say educate. So paraphrasing is not just using different words at the same time. You may just change the word form. The same thing also with changing the sentence structure. Sorry. So that is the third way. You can paraphrase by just simply changing the sentence structure. And how do you do that? So when you change the sentence structure, the subject of the sentence becomes the object, and the object of the sentence becomes the subject. So you just swap the structure of the sentence. Now, so this can help to add variety and depth to an answer while also demonstrating understanding of the topic or question. So let us have this question, essay question, okay? So the essay question is, are video games beneficial for children's health and development? This paragraph here is actually a body paragraph. Now, in a body paragraph starts with the topic sentence. Great. Now, what is the topic sentence? A topic sentence is just actually an answer to the essay question. So look at the essay question and the first sentence of the body paragraph. Of course, it's what we call the topic sentence. They are almost the same, right? But it's not entirely the same. When you write an essay, guys, when you write an essay, and when you copy the question exactly, you will get a very low score, especially in an international exam. So look at the topic sentence. Instead of using beneficial, what is used here? Positive effect, right? Instead of just saying development, the word overall development is used. Okay. Now, in writing an essay, it's not just the topic sentence that should be paraphrased. It's also the concluding sentence. And what is the concluding sentence? The concluding sentence is the last sentence of the body paragraph. I'm sorry, let me use the pen. Okay. So the topic sentence in an essay, in the body paragraph of an essay, the topic sentence and the concluding sentence should be almost the same, but not exactly the same. So look at this. Paraphrasing is applied in the last sentence. So instead of just saying video games, here in the concluding sentence, it's playing video games. It's almost the same, but not the same, right? And then here, healthy activity instead of beneficial. And then here, it uses children's development instead of copying exactly the words development. Okay, so that's how you do paraphrasing, right? Next one. The next is summarization. In American spelling, you spell it with letter Z. This one is British spelling. Now, what is summarization? A summary or a summary is a short phrase that answers the question directly. Now, this can help to organize and clarify an answer while also providing more detail and supporting evidence. Now we have this very simple question. What's your favorite type of food? And the answer, the paragraph contains 3 sentences. Now, which one do you think is the summary or has a summary phrase? The first sentence, the second sentence, or the third sentence? Can you please go to your chat box and send your answer? Okay. Very good. Good job. The last sentence, of course, the third sentence, right? Now here, this one is, if you have noticed, in summarization, guys, the question, the answer, I mean, is almost the same as the question. Now, I have another question for you. Between paraphrasing and summarization, which one do you think is a higher skill? Is it paraphrasing or summarization? Okay, again, so we are already done with paraphrasing and summarization. Now, between the two, paraphrasing and summarization, which one do you think is the higher level? Is it paraphrasing or summarization? Yeah, so you answered summarization or summary. Well, the answer is actually paraphrasing. Why? Why do you think that paraphrasing is a higher level than summarization? Because in paraphrasing, guys, you have to apply some other skills. You have to either use synonyms, you have to change the word form, or you even have to change the sentence structure. But for summarization, you just simply copy the question and add your answer. Very easy. This is the technique that many beauty pageant contestants follow when answering the question, the Q&A. All right, next one. Okay, we have an answer here, another answer. Is that for paraphrasing, AJ, or summarization? So you said you need to have a good range of vocabulary among other factors. That's correct. You're correct. Yeah, you need to have like a range of vocabulary words in order to do paraphrasing. Good job. Next one, expressing your opinion. So how do you express your opinion? Okay, of course, you expand your answers by giving reasons. Okay, you give your opinion and say what you think. It actually depends on the question. Now, when you express your opinion, you also have to use words, okay? Like, we have for, because, since, as. Now, in this question, how should students spend their summer vacation? So we also have a good answer here. Now, guys, can you identify the part here that expresses an opinion? Is it the first sentence, the second sentence, or the third sentence? Yes, yes, you are correct. You are correct. Yeah. Well, as you can see here, we have here the second sentence. It starts with the word since, and that is an indicator. That is one of the indicators that the speaker is actually giving an opinion. Okay, so since they have such a long period of time. But also, we have here phrases. There are phrases used in the answer, in the paragraph. So when you say, in my view, you're also giving your opinion at the same time. And also we have, I think. When you use I think, you're also giving your opinion. So all the three sentences here actually are what? Giving reasons. Okay, next one. Next one, aside from giving examples, guys, you know what's wrong with many Filipino students? They always try to forget. They don't usually give examples when they answer questions. Now, when you take international exams, it is always very necessary to give specific examples. Specific examples. Now, so how can you do that? So you support your answers with examples from your life or from your past experience. And you do that when you answer job interview questions. Job interview answers should be based on your past experiences, okay, based on your life. Now, if it's just a speaking exam, like what midterm exam, final exam, or even the IELTS and TOEFL exam, you can just base your answer on what you have read. You can even make up a story. Okay, next. Now, so when you give examples, it's much better. It's so much better, guys. And for you to sound very clear, to use phrases. And what are these phrases when you give examples? Of course, you can say, for example, for instance, such as, including. So we have this question. Is higher education too expensive in your country? And this is the answer. Now, students, can you identify, and here, sorry, let me just point this out to you. So this part here is the example, right? Specific example. And the speaker did not just say the specific example. The speaker starts his example by saying, for example. All right. So phrases and words are very important to make you sound very clear and easy to follow. Okay, so we have here, for example, my friend who has completed a master's degree paid 75,000 pages, and so on and so forth. Next, we have the last one. Sorry. The last one is illustration. Now, so how did you illustrate? You illustrate by using anecdotes to support or illustrate an answer. And what is an anecdote? An anecdote is just simply an interesting story. Okay? You just simply tell a story about your past experience. Now, for example, if asked about a personal experience, you could use a past experience to illustrate your point and provide more detail. So we have this question. Would you rather live in a big city or a small town? And the answer is, I live in a big city, but I much rather live in a small town. And here is the illustration. I remember spending a summer in a small town when I was 15 and enjoying their sense of community and belonging. So you are not just answering the question by explaining something, but you can also story your past experience or use anecdotes to support faith. On to the 5 strategies. Right? You can actually expand your answers. It actually depends. For example, you might give reasons or examples. However, in answering questions, guys, you always have to follow a structure. Usually when we answer questions, which is fluently answer the questions, right? But in reality, there is a structure that you have to follow in answering questions. So it is a good idea. Okay, look at this, everybody. It is a good idea to begin your answer with a summary phrase. That is the simplest way of beginning your answer. What is a summary phrase again? It is a short phrase that answers the question directly. Or if you want to sound smarter, if you want people to think that you are very smart and intelligent, you can start your answer by paraphrasing the question, because paraphrasing is a higher skill in writing and speaking. And then you extend your answer. Now, for instance, we have this question. How important is good health? Now, before answering the question, guys, it is always good to check your understanding of the question. So this question here, this question asks you to what extent you think good health is important. So what is your answer for that? Is it very important or not so important? And for this activity, I actually invited 4 students to answer this question. Do you want to meet these 4 students? Let's have the question. Let's have the answer of the first student. All right, first student, are you ready? Our first student his name is Daniel. And this is Daniel's answer. Good health is extremely important. Now, guys, what do you think of Daniel's answer? Are you happy with his answer? Where are my students? Students, what do you think of his answer? Good health is extremely important. So Rosita, you're happy with Daniel's answer, okay? Yes, Hazel is also happy with Daniel's answer, so everybody is saying yes. Well, guys, oh, I'm sorry, I missed the last answer. Now, well, he did actually a good job because he was able to understand the question. But this answer is very short. Daniel how did he answer the question? He just simply gave a summary. He only gave a summary phrase by saying good health is extremely important. But I'm gonna give him points for understanding the question because he said extremely instead of just saying very important. He used the word extremely. But he could have done better by expanding his answer further. So when I told him that, also sorry, Daniel, you did a good job, but your answer is quite short. You know what he did? He just smiled at me and scratched his head. So I asked another student, and this is the answer of student number 2. Do you want to meet student number 2? Student number 2, what is your answer? This is student number 2, guys. And his answer is, good health is extremely important for many reasons, but mainly because I don't think that other things in life have much value if you don't have good health. Now, so what do you think of his name, by the way, is Dominic, but you can just call him Dom. So what do you think of Dom's answer? So Daniel gave a very short answer. He just gave a summary phrase like good health is extremely important. What about Don's answer? What do you think of his answer? Yes. What kind of detailed answer did Don give? Very good. Good job, Carl. So Dom, he just didn't give a summary phrase, but he also gave a reason. And his reason Other things in life don't have much value if you don't have good health. However, although he gave a reason to the to his answer, but I still consider this as a short answer. So when I told him that, oh, you could have done much better, Dom, he just smiled and then he went back to his chair. Yes, that's right. That's right. You are correct, Christina. Although the answer is almost the same, but he gave the reason, he gave the importance of good health. Now, so let's move on to our third student. Who do you think is the third student? Any idea? The third student. Sorry, meet the third student. And this is the answer of the third student. It's almost the same, sorry, as the answer of Daniel and Dominic, but she added one more sentence. For example, some health problems can cause pain or tiredness that lasts for a long time. So what about her answer? This is actually Bea, and Bea would answer question, I could feel that she was very emotional. I don't know why. She's going through something. So what do you think of her answer, guys? Now, so apparently, okay, we have an answer here. That is correct. It's based on her experience. Good job, Steven Paulo Domingo. I like her name actually. So she answered why it's important and she gave an example. Very good. So her answer is composed of three parts. We have, that's correct. That is correct. Sorry. Thank you, AJ. So her answer, Bea's answer, is composed of three parts. The summary phrase, the reason, and she gave one more answer, which is the example, specific example. So actually, Bea did a great job. Her answer has been extended further compared to the two previous examples. So, but then, I'm a teacher and I taught my students the different strategies of answering a question. If they really wanted to get a very high score, then if she really wanted to get a very high score, then she could have done something to make it a little bit longer. Now, but you did a very good job, Bea. Stop crying now, okay? Stop crying. Now let's move on to the fourth student. Who is student number 4? Who do you think is student number 4? It's what's her name? Catherine. Okay. So student number 4 is Catherine, and this is her answer. The first three parts are the same as the answer of Bea, but there is this last sentence. As a result, those people may not be able to enjoy their life as much or do a number of activities that healthy people can do. So what can you say about the last part of her answer? That is correct. She used linking verb. Okay, good job. What else? Miss Catriona Gray of ASCAT. What is ASCAT? Summarization. Do you think the last part is summarization? All right, another one, another answer. It has an anecdote. All right, good. Linking verbs. Yeah, so the third part is citing an example. You are correct. So almost every answer here, okay, has linking verbs like here. For example, okay? So she did not just give an example, but she started her answer by using a phrase. For example, the last answer, okay, she did not just include her answer, but she used also a phrase as a result. Now, so these are the four parts of the Queen's answer. We have the first one is summary phrase. Before she started her answer by giving a summary phrase. Next one, the second part here is the reason, right? The third is she gave an example. And the last part of her answer is actually a result of these health problems. Now, so since her answer is complete, it has four parts. So I'm going to give you Catherine 10 out of 10. So that's why when I told her about her score, she was really very happy. Now, so let's go back to the first sentence here. Okay, guys. Good health is extremely important because I don't think that other things in life have much value if you don't have good health. So what can you say about this sentence? Is this a simple sentence? Yes or no? There are still people joining. Do you think the first sentence is a simple sentence? What do you think? Ouch. All right. Okay. Uh, okay, so my question is the first sentence a simple sentence? Yes or no? And the correct answer is no. It is not a simple sentence. Very good, Carmela. It's a complex sentence. Now, a while ago, I showed to you one of the criteria in writing and speaking. So usually when we speak or when we talk about grammatical structure, we always focus on the subject-verb agreement, right? But when you take examinations in speaking and writing, it's not just the accuracy that you will not be scored on the accuracy of your grammatical structure, but the examiner will also pay attention to the range of your grammatical structure. What do we mean when we say range of sentence? Okay, it means that your sentence should be complex. You have to use a variety of sentence structures. Maybe sometimes you can read in simple sentences, but you will get a higher score if your sentences are complex, like sentence number one here. All right, so we're almost done, guys. We have this last activity. So let's go back to Catriona Gray's answer. So based on the answer of Catriona, what strategies did Catriona Gray use in answering this question? So I showed you 5 strategies today. So which strategy do you think, or what are the strategies that to use in answering the Miss Universe question? So she said, I work a lot in the slums of Tondo, Manila, and the life there is very poor and very sad. And I've always taught myself to look for the beauty in it, to look in the beauty in the faces of the children, and to be grateful. I'm great at and the Miss Universe to see situations with a silver lining. So it's very obvious. It's very obvious that Catriona Gray really expanded her answer. If she gave a very short answer, Do you think she would win as Miss Universe? No. So what strategy did she use in answering the question? Yes, good. She gave an example. It's not very easy to come up with an example, but you're only given like 30 seconds to answer. Very good. Good job, Jen Rose. She gave an anecdote. Very good job. She gave an illustration of her experience. She started her answer with an anecdote. Good. She gave an anecdote, a very inspiring one that can be seen. The first sentence, good job. Your answer is very clear, so I don't have to ask you follow-up questions. Okay. She utilized paraphrasing as well. It's not very obvious that she used paraphrasing, but she actually used paraphrasing in her answer. So instead of saying, how would you apply? How would you apply it to your time as Miss Universe? Instead of saying that, she said, I would bring this aspect. So see, Catriona is really very smart. Imagine she was able to paraphrase the answer in just a very short time. Okay, see, she did not even repeat the question. Another one, linking verbs. She did really use a lot of linking verbs. Okay. She always used here and. There's a repetition of linking words, but still her answer is really very clear. Okay. Now, so that's it, guys. I'm all done. Yes, I'm done. Thank you so much for listening. We are done. You are very active. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot this one. So when you answer questions, guys, we are English teachers, and when we answer questions, we make sure that we avoid responding with a question. What does it mean when we say responding with a question? It means that when you answer questions, you have to avoid repeating the keywords in the question. So you have to always apply paraphrasing in answering questions, okay? Because we are English teachers. We should have a wide range of vocabulary words. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for participating. Thank you so much for engaging in the section. You are very active. And Carmela, you're going to get something from me from South Korea.
All right. Thank you so much, Professor Palsario, for taking us to another
Thank you
avenue in making the
also.
classroom, yes, making the classroom more engaging by giving extended answers. So, do we have any questions or clarifications from our lovely participants? They're very proactive today, very participative, really good job. Any further questions to our speaker? Okay, let me check our chat box if we have some questions. None, so I think that's very clear. The presentation is very clear. So we will now proceed to the
I'm so
awarding of the
happy.
understanding. Through your engaging presentations, workshops, and seminars, you have effectively shared valuable insights, innovative strategies, and best practices, enriching the professional development of educators and enhancing the language acquisition journey of learners across diverse contexts. In recognition of your outstanding achievements and invaluable contributions to the TESOL community, we proudly present this certificate as a token of our appreciation and admiration. Accorded this 24th day of February 2024, signed Carmela M. Salenga, President, Streps Prism International, and Dr. Roxanne Rubik Camarosa, Executive Consultant. So thank you so much again, Madam, and we